Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode on Oral Pathology Tuesdays. It's great to have you here. In case this is your first time, I'm Dr. Mandana Donahue, founder and director of Oral Pathology 360. Now, this is all about, it started being all about oral pathology. Now it's all about oral diagnostics, which includes pathology, medicine, radiology, and on occasions we also have surgery. But today it's a part of the Career Horizon series, and we are going to Brazil. Yes, we are going to talk about Destination Brazil, nurturing careers in oral sciences at NCI's clinical division. And so, before we do that, let me also share with you that on their Career Horizon series, there have been previously similar events that spoke about or where we presented ways of traveling out of your country if you are the more adventurous sort and want to not just learn or not just do research, but to also find out more about other cultures and other places. It's always great to do that. But so today with us, we have coming back to today's program, right? Welcome, Dr. Daniel.
Hello, Dr. Mandana. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. And just to tell everybody, Professor Daniel Goldman, he is a prominent researcher and professor at the Oncology Postgraduate Program and Public Health and Cancer Control Postgraduate Program. Wow, that was a mouthful. Okay. At the National Cancer Institute, also fondly called INCA. Okay. So, with that very short introduction, um, let me welcome you again. Thank you for being with us. Uh, and let me also thank everybody who has joined. I think I will let you now go on with the presentation. There's a short presentation, everyone, and immediately after that, we will have a discussion. You can ask Professor Daniel how you can, get scholarships, get involved in research, and how to basically go to Brazil and work there and study there. Okay, let me just bring this. Right, it's
Thank
all
you.
yours.
First of all, thank you very much for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here, Dr. Mandana. I'm a big fan of Oral Pathology 360, and I'll talk a little bit about how the prospective students or even PhDs that want to follow a career path or have an experience working in Brazil how what they could do with us. Well, as perfectly introduced by Dr. Mandana, I work in both postgraduate programs of the National Cancer Institute of Brazil, and we have basically not only I'm an oral pathologist and oral medicine practitioner, but we do have staff that can also co-supervise with me for oral surgery or radiology. Now we have a new postdoc that's a radiologist as well, and so we can also provide this sort of experience for uh, whoever is interested and obviously qualified or for those roles. So the brief introduction of who we are. I work at the clinical research division, that historically called as well Technological Development Center at the National Cancer Institute of Brazil. It's a whole building just focused on research, and basically very close to the main hospital or headquarters of the National Cancer Institute, which is it's called Cancer Hospital One, is the first unit, and that's actually where also the head and neck division is, so the head and neck surgery division. We do have other partnerships. I have a dentist that works with me, Professor Ellington Antunes, and he has a very close relationship with a transplantation center as well. So we do have the hospital dentistry as well, which can be a path that could be followed. But basically, we are focusing on oral diseases, oral cancer, and potentially malignant disorders. Basically, that's our main interest. And this goes from epidemiology, the clinical epidemiology. We have two medical doctors there, epidemiologists, and specialize in epidemiology. They give us full support, and we do work for the molecular medicine program, which is basically headed by Dr. Andrea Mello. She is like a prominent researcher in Brazil. She won several prizes on outstanding scientific and medical entrepreneurship, and she just published at New England Journal of Medicine, which is something that maybe one day in my life I hope we can do. But she's a very good researcher, and she happens to be my boss as well. So she's the head of the molecular medicine program at the National Cancer Institute. So whenever focusing on prevention, screening initiatives, obviously early diagnosis, identification of biomarkers, we have loads of fundings coming up, and there are always opportunities for translational research to be conducted. Our possibilities for getting students, they range from scientific initiation, so undergraduates are more than welcome as well. We have scholarships, but maybe it's more difficult. What Also another path that could be a bit more difficult is this postgraduate program in public health and cancer control, because we don't have scholarships for that. That we kind of assume that it's a professional masters. It's a different path. So we assume that the students have already a job, and the job is allowing them to qualify. So basically, this is focused on developing a project, something that's applied for our public health system, or it could be like a manual, could be like an app that's developed and focused to help on cancer control, and basically on focusing on our side, on oral cancer, or potentially malignant disorders, or of the oral cavity. So what I think it's really interesting for whoever is outside Brazil to come and study with us or work with us is the postgraduate program in oncology, which has a master's degree, a PhD, and we also have scholarships to prepare the students to get inside those programs. So basically, they can get a scholarship, and you get a scholarship that's very competitive for Brazil. They're high above what our we call CAP is the superior board that regulates and usually provide those scholarships. It's superior than what they recommend for the postgraduate scholarships. So we have this we called enhancement, or in English would be something like that, aperfeiçoamento in Portuguese, which would be like preparing the students for the masters, which would be enhancement one, or preparing the students for the PhD, which would be enhancement two. And those students could get the scholarship. They can do all the subjects. They can start studying. They can start working on their projects. And once they finish this scholarship scheme, they apply for the master's after the enhancement one, or apply for the PhD after enhancement two. So basically, it's a very good opportunity for those who are interested. And also, we have the Oncology Research Fellowship Program, which would be for professionals that are already specialize either in hospital dentistry, preferably oncology, which is the focus on of our residency program. Our residency program gets many students from abroad, from outside Rio, from all over the country, and even Northeast, which as India, as Dr. Mandana knows well, India is Brazil is a continental dimension country. It's a very big country, and people travel from very far to study with us, mainly for this, to specialize in our multi-professional program of residency in oncology, focus on health, obviously, and there is one for dentist as well, and all other areas of health, basically. So for whoever is interested, but this is probably going to be more difficult as well for non-Brazilians. So basically, we focus on potentially malignant disorders and oral cancer with all these subjects of interest. We obviously, oral medicine, oral pathology are the main ones, but we do have opportunities for oral surgery. We have on a teaching committee one colleague that's an oral and had an oral maxillofacial surgeon. Is very keen on co-supervising as well, and we have a new postdoc, Dr. Mariana Michels. Mariana Michels is an oral radiologist. She can help us with the supervision as well. And hospital dentistry, we have the help of Dr. Elton Antunes. He's very good. This is already a senior researcher at INCA and can help as well. So here, just a brief introduction. However, if you can point your camera and access via the QR code, you get access to this editorial I wrote a couple of years ago, mentioning about the role of dental surgeons in on patient care with regards to potentially malignant disorders and oral cancer, and I think that kind of covers much of our interest when doing research at INCA. So we are really keen on studying and on the early diagnosis of oral cancer and on studying the molecular markers, maybe even what's going on with the younger women that has been affected with oral cancer, sometimes white. I don't know. Maybe no one knows as yet. So that's one of our main interests in research as well. It's not happening as much in Brazil as in developed countries, and I think it kind of uh, uh, is focused mainly on the developed world at the moment. But we see the cases. We don't see the cases in rising so much as has been reported in the literature, especially in the States and some countries in Europe. And but we also have this book that we published very recently, and it's focused on it was published by Inca, and I was very honored to be invited as one of the authors, which is early diagnosis of oral cancer. So obviously there is the problem is this focus for the Brazilian public, so it's in Portuguese, but with nowadays it's very easy. Well, when I was invited, I kind of tried to be in English, but I wasn't uh, successful in my attempt. But I mean, I think it's a very uh, uh, objective book, focused on early diagnosis, working on the differential diagnosis from the epidemiologist side at the beginning of the book up to the other neoplasias that can happen in the oral cavity. I think it's at the very end of the book. It's a very good book and a very simple book, focused on dentists that work on primary care to try and improve early diagnosis of oral cancer. So I think it's worth having a look. So we also have the QR code there for you to access. So we have several projects going on at the clinical research division that have me as the principal investigator, And one of them is it's we're hopefully going to have our dear student Daniela Perez on the masters soon for this, which is this study with the Latin American Comparative Oncology Group, and its focus on knowledge of dentists and medical doctors about oral cancer, which could be one of the biggest problems, right, of on the delay of oral cancer diagnosis. So we do have this study already in an advanced stage. We are in the second round of the Delphi valid technique for validation, and those questionnaires are going to be employed very soon. So I hope this study will be published not too late, to so that we can help a little bit on this matter. And we have this big debate about oral lichen planus, right, and the potential malignant transformation. And we have the United States view that's more towards not believing it. We have the European view, which is more towards believing it. And I think we try to be in between and try to study to work actually on a scientific evidence that can move us towards like a proper evidence based uh, uh, position about it. So we have also the analysis of biomarkers that are associated from the diagnosis to prognosis of oral squamous cell carcinoma, obviously the most common type of oral cancer. Everyone knows that. Everyone that is focused on oral pathology 360 is more than aware. And we have a big research line that, on actinic cheilitis. We have a partnership with the dermatologist section of the National Cancer Institute, and we have many dermatologists that are interested in work together with us. We have a student now finishing the master's dermatologist, and we do work obviously mainly on clinical pathological association, and we're working on some of dermoscopy as well. And this has a to kind of show if we have something similar to the benefits that we see for the skin lesions, or if it's closer to the mouth. But I used to work at the Federal University of Niterói here in Brazil, a city close to Rio, and we had many students, masters and PhDs, doing their dissertations and their theses on this subject. And for the mouth, it didn't actually seem to help to enhance, to try and make it bigger, to use cameras for the oral cavity lesions. But I mean, we are the vermilion, the maybe we could have something in between, and that's what we've been trying to do. And fractal dimension, artificial intelligence, we've been working on that, especially since Dr. Marianne Michels arrived in our group as a postdoctoral scientist, because she's a neuroradiologist. She did her PhD with the co-supervision of Professor Alan Roger, that probably many people know here at Unicamp, the university at countryside of São Paulo. And we do have this is the study I was mentioning, with the collaboration of the Latin American Comparative Oncology Group, the head and neck division. And we do have this hypothesis that the knowledge gap and the problems in the formation of our, not only dentists but our medical doctors, that are the main professionals that work on primary care, to try and speed up the diagnosis, that so we can work on early diagnosis. This could be a problem, and we've been trying to prove that. And we've already not only we are almost finishing the validation of this questionnaire with 15 experts, very good professionals there, from Brazil, that from all over the country, that have been carefully selected and to validate this questionnaire, and we can apply it to medical and dental students and also the professionals and see actually if there is a difference of the for the see uh, when we mentioned the I don't know if I skipped one or not. Yeah, I skipped one. Sorry. When we mentioned the oral lichen planus research line, we have this project that's obviously they're all approved on by the ethics committee. That's the study on characterization of the malignant potential of oral lichen planus in patients that have oral squamous cell carcinoma, and this is a hypothesis based on a Hoikonen paper that Professor Abel Cardoso, one of the only emeritus professor at the history of the Federal University of Rio, he suggested to us, and he's working on us at this project oral lichen planus on these patients, which is interesting to see the list. And on the same on this same subject, we had a partnership with the bioinformatics department at the National Cancer Institute with a collaboration of Professor Mariana Boroni, and we managed to publish this paper on this the scientific report, the journal on the Nature group, mentioning, showing that the oral lichen planus, especially early stages oral squamous cell carcinoma, shared key oncogenic signatures with oral lichen planus lesions, which is already something that we shouldn't neglect. And this is an early stage publication. There are even areas there are normal in development. So we wrote a critical review about it, and we published recently for this. This is a International Journal of Surgery case reports. Is a basically a case reports journal that has impact factor, which is very unusual that people use these metrics for case report journals, and is from the Elsevier group. It's a very well. Considering people that work in surgery, most of them know this journal, and I strongly recommend that you read it, and I congratulate especially two colleagues here, our student Daniela Perez, that was the first author, and Dr. Beatriz Monteiro, my first postdoc, and she's with me for a good couple of years. And they were the first authors that managed this to be possible. Oral squamous cell papilloma is not a potentially malignant disorder of the oral cavity, right? Basically, that was the message that we tried to send. And we have the epidemiological profile of oral cancer as one of the topics that we study a lot at the National Cancer Institute, at the Clinical Research Division. We have a good couple of publications. They're not here. They're not all here, but we selected a few of them that consider that they're the most interesting. One focusing on the epidemiological profile of mucosal melanoma in Brazil, and we do have also the oral cavity and lip lesions as well here, and also on the epidemiological profile of tongue squamous cell carcinoma and major salivary gland cancer. Both papers are also available here. You can have a look if you point and click the QR codes. And mentioning about this, the research line on epidemiological profile oral cancer, we do have already a project that aims to have more countries in Latin America to contribute with us, with what we have at the National Cancer Institute, about the epidemiological profile of mucosal melanomas of the oral cavity. And we've been doing that. We've been doing also revision of the pathology slides, it won't be only on the clinical records. This will be very interesting, and we have already colleagues from other countries that are involved, and this is already a multi-center study that's under development. We have also the epidemiological profile of gingival cancer in patients from our institute, uh, and on lip cancer, on squamous cell carcinoma, we do have already this work under development. We have over 700 patients enrolled already. So I'm sorry if I took too long, but I tried to be as brief as I could. And thank you very much, everyone, for your attention. And I hope attracted some colleagues and that are interested to study with us. So anyway, you can see my details here, and also saved for the last slide, the best, which is what we could enjoy in Brazil, and if you study in Rio, which is not only the Christ monument, Sugarloaf, the lagoon, Rodrigo de Freitas lagoon. For me, to be honest, I think it's even more beautiful than the beach that's on the right of the picture on the right, and there are loads of mountains here. It's so beautiful. It's not because I'm from here, but it's really beautiful. So I have studied in the UK for 5 years. Did a full time PhD with Prof Porter, and also there is this gap, as there is this possibility of collaborating with the University College London. Prof Porter is a big collaborator, and I'm a honorary senior lecturer at the moment for UCL as well. So for me, it will be a pleasure to have you here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was really interesting. And yes, Brazil is a lovely place.
Thank you.
Right. So, just reminding everyone, please put your questions and comments in the chat. And in the meanwhile, let's go to our next slide. And that was very interesting. So, all these projects are available if someone wants to come and work with you all, study with you all for some time.
Exactly, and we are open for new projects as well. If a prospective student comes with a good idea, we can think about how to make it happen. So we're not close to the project we have on. Obviously, we would need the time for to uh, prepare the project properly, to format it according to our ethics committee and everything. But it's viable if it's a good idea and if it's
Excellent.
executable. And we encourage as well people to bring their ideas.
Excellent. Maybe I should come.
Oh, it will be a pleasure. Be an honor for us, Dr. Mandana. With
Thank you.
postdoctoral opportunities, we have well, not from abroad as yet, but Dr. Luciano de Castro is a neural medicine practitioner here in Brazil. He's a professor at the Federal University of Goiás, and is interested in
Okay.
doing a postdoc with us for a long time. But obviously, it's not always easy because of the professional attachments. You need to have the license of the job.
Yes.
But obviously, Dr. Mandani, it would be the biggest honor if you could have you.
Oh, thank you. You are very kind. But I will definitely visit you all someday.
It would be
Yes, I
very
have now so many colleagues and friends there that I should make a round of some of the countries definitely and visit all your labs. It will be great and it will be an honor. Okay, let's see who we have here. So, Dr. Bhuvan is with us. Hi, Bhuvan. And arena check in. I assume this is just, I don't know. This is great. Danny, is that your friend?
yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Thiago. Thanks. A good
Okay.
friend, a brother.
I thought so when it said Danny, so I was like, okay. Dr. Gupta, yes. Good afternoon. Yes. Hi to you too.
Good afternoon.
He has one problem, I think. Dr. Gupta says that the QR code was not working on one of the slides.
If you want, I can, if you mention which paper it is, I can send you the link directly. My
Yeah, what?
postdocs that has, to be honest, I have no idea of how to prepare those QR codes. My postdocs, they have done it for me, but I can send you the link directly if you want. If you mention which paper you want, I can send you directly. I can actually, if maybe I can
You
post
can.
it here.
Here may be difficult at the moment, but if you send me the list, the
Of
actual
course, yeah.
links, I will put them out in the description of the video so that it can
Okay,
be
perfect.
accessed.
Yeah, I can send you all the links. No
Right.
problem. I'm sorry, Dr. Gupta.
Okay, and he's telling you which one it is: prevention and early detection of cancer.
Yes, of course.
So that was the one he wants. Anyway, just send me all the links. I'll put them up. It makes it easier.
Of course, yeah. I'll send all of them.
Hello, Professor Joss. Yes, he has, dear Professor Goldenberg, tell us more about the molecular markers which it shares with OSCC.
That's a good question, Dr. Heil. Which we're what we've been trying to do. We haven't been focusing on the most classic ones like retinoblastoma or P53. We've been trying to work on novel biomarkers, and one of them, few of them are related to our last paper on oral lichen planus cancerization, and they uh, basically are uh, our main focus on that's what we have a project about. So we do S, it's from the S100 family, S100A7 if I'm not wrong, and some people are actually using it as a biomarker for oral potentially malignant disorders, and those are our main interest at the moment, and that's what we've been working mostly. Sorry,
I think he is
lichen planus.
interested in the combination with the lichen planus.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's what we've been trying to do. We've been trying to study the molecular aspects, and because we work closely with oral with oncologists all the time, with the medical doctors, and also many of our staff colleagues are from the basic research. So we've been doing a lot of work to understand if this constant inflammation could pose a threat, because in other parts of the body this is a problem. So especially for gastrointestinal cancer, right? For colorectal cancer, which is one of the most common types of cancer in the world. So in Brazil as well, and that's what we've been trying, and that's what one our research line, our first published work about that focus a lot as well on this immune risk that poses our lichen planus, and we have also a very good immunologist, basic research that works with us. He's actually working on CAR T cells, and he's very keen on collaborating with us, Dr. Martin Bonamino, and we've been doing this partnership with him as well. So we have a strong team, and working very keen to work on our lichen planus, and hopefully this will result with in more interesting results in the near future. Thanks very much for the good questions,
He
Dr.
has
Hill.
one more for you, Professor Hiller. Yeah. Is pure lichen planus not molecularly stable because of the inflammation?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Uh, or when if you're talking about lichen planus, the cutaneous disease, there was never a report of malignization. No, it's not a coincidence. I'm married to a dermatologist, and it was work related. We met talking about the diseases that the mucocutaneous diseases. We used to work at the same building in the practice, and uh, but for some reason, the lesions in the oral cavity, uh, this constant inflammation could pose a risk. But at the same time, we need to be aware that uh, early cases of uh, uh, ver- uh, verrucous leukoplakias, no? Proliferative verrucous leukoplakia could be very similar to oral lichen planus, to the erosive form of oral lichen planus. So, and then that's what we try to avoid. For example, the use of lichenoid dysplasia, or this shouldn't be a term we use anymore, because even if you have lichen planus that progress to oral cancer, this dysplasia that you see there, you should consider it dysplasia. They should, because in the past, that's what we see, that it was a common mistake that people would acknowledge the dysplasia as lichenoid and wouldn't care, and basically people would have a late diagnosis, and basically prognosis would be really bad because of the oral squamous cell carcinoma that would progress from these cases. So yeah, but it's a good question. I wouldn't think that it's hard to generalize. I wouldn't talk about lichen planus in general, but for some reason, lichen planus in the oral cavity uh, uh, could be something to worry about, but we're not 100% sure. I just don't agree, for example, with this the American view that oral lichen planus is all related to like as it if it would be an allergic reaction, and that's what I don't think it's a very good argument, because you do have the autoimmune, I believe, the autoimmune uh, disease, the oral lichen planus. And also, what reinforces that is the the latest classification of the head and neck tumors of the World Health Organization. They actually included oral lichenoid lesions on the oral potentially malignant disorders, which brings us something to think about. Because if people from the states they keep claiming that those the oral lichen planus doesn't pose a problem, why oral lichenoid lesions are also included now? Because what the newest studies suggest is that not only oral lichen planus, but also the lesions that are associated or have a clear uh, uh, um, cause and effect. For example, amalgam restoration, patients with amalgam restoration, this sort of things, they do also seem to have a higher risk of developing oral squamous cell carcinoma. So I'm not sure if I was clear, Dr. Hill, but thank you very much. This is a very good question as well, and it's something that we are really keen on studying as more as as much as we can, because the more we study, the more answers we can give, instead of just thinking about what you believe. Because I think when we work in academia, we cannot just think that something can turn into cancer. We have to be always based on scientific evidence.
True. It must be interesting hearing you and Professor Geronimo discuss this, I assume, considering he
uh,
does so much of work on chronic inflammation and cancer. Yes.
It's true. No, it's brilliant. I love his work. I've tried to bring him to Rio already several times. I never succeeded, but I'll manage at some point
No
to
worries. We'll
even if
get you
it's to give a
together
brief.
here online
Oh, that's great.
and get you
If
to
he's
discuss
online,
it.
uh,
No, we'll have another session with both of you
I send
and
my
some more
regards.
experts. Yes. He normally watches these later, I think early morning. This is just in the middle of his practice and his work. Yes. Anyway, Professor Joss is asking for your work, the links to all the work you're doing on lichen planus.
Yes, of course. We
All right.
have at the moment we have two publications only, but this is something that, as I mentioned, it started very recently. It started during the pandemic times, and with this collaboration with the uh, biological computational department of the clinical research division of the National Cancer Institute from Brazil, INCA. We kind of started paving the way. But of course, I can send you with pleasure. Well, you, Dr. Mandana, will have all the links of our papers,
Yes.
and you can.
I will put them all up and I will send them personally to Dr. Vivek and Professor Joss. Yes. And okay, I have no clue how to read this. Okay, Umar. Okay, fine. Then we have, yes, Professor Joss. Initially, OLP was included in 2018. Now it is better that lichenoid lesions have been flagged.
Yeah, yeah. If Dr. Hill can provide us some more background for that, I'll be happy to hear, because I don't know why it's taking so long, because we can only see the reviews about the classification of last year of 2022. We can see the full classification. The I always buy those books. They come from Switzerland, if I'm not wrong, the 2017, but they haven't finished the publication. They haven't made it available. So
No, I think
uh,
it's now
unless you
available.
unless you
It's now
subscribe
available,
to
yeah.
the
Yeah,
WHO sub website, you won't have access to that. So
yes.
I only I
But the online version is quite good actually
it is it?
because it is cheaper and it gives you access to all the blue books, not
Ah,
just
okay,
Headache.
okay,
Right
but
now,
then you
it's the
have,
most
but you need
practical.
to pay a membership per year, right?
Yes, you don't own the
And it's
book. Yes,
not
every year.
cheap. Yeah.
Yes, that just happened to me. Mine sort of my subscription got over. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, that happens. Unless you're a really avid reader and read the whole book all at once.
yeah, exactly. It's hard. I prefer to
It's
wait,
hard.
and once they publish the book, I buy the book.
Book. Yes, I
Yeah.
understand. Okay, I think I'm going to have to get all of you together just so that we can have this discussion on lichen planus. We did have one discussion on lichen planus sometime back, but we can have one more.
Oh, that would be brilliant.
And yes, okay, Professor Joss says we just signed the WHO book auto release forms.
Ah, that's great. That's good news. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so I don't think we have any more questions. Okay, and we are almost getting to time. So let me share what we are going to do next. Actually, next we are going on holidays, right,
Okay.
everybody? So remember, this is going to be our winter vacation. We will meet only in Jan now. Also, be aware that the timing for OP Tuesdays will change again. So be a little alert. I will share it, of course, because it was 11 a.m. India time last year. We brought it to 5:30 so that our colleagues from across the world would have access. But now we have to see which colleagues from where would want access to the live stream and accordingly change it again. So, all right. So that is happy holidays to everybody a little ahead of time.
Oh, and I've just seen happy holidays to everyone, first of all, but I've just seen Dr. Healy said it was nice
But
to
yes,
meet me, and
yes, I
it's
shall.
my pleasure,
With
Dr. Healy.
this,
Thank you very much.
yes, yes. This is the place. Oral Pathology 360 is the place for everyone to meet. I love it when everyone meets and there is more interaction and more happens.
Of course, yeah. That's really good. And I also take the opportunity to thank both my postdocs for all the whole support they give me in all of my projects, and even in this presentation today, and also Dr. Mandana for the invitation. It's such an honor to be here and
My pleasure. Absolutely my
represent
pleasure.
Inca.
My pleasure. You have been due actually for almost a year, right?
Sorry?
I said you were supposed to be here last year.
It's true. It's true. It's my mistake. I failed last year, and here I am.
You got too busy. Yeah, never mind. It
Sorry
happens,
about
right?
that.
Okay, so yes, a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year ahead to you too, Dr. Vivek. And yes, let's share
Thank you very much, Dr. Gupta. To you and your
your
family as
little
well.
certificate. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I shall send you the PDF. Right?
Thank
I
you.
don't think, are there any more comments anywhere? Anything else? No. Okay. So, everybody, please remember you can still, even if we don't have these 2, 3 weeks of programs, there are now 200 videos that you can go and muddle through and watch. And you will find the full list. So, you can actually search on our website on the tab of videos. If you look, you will have the whole list, and the titles are clickable and will take you directly to the video. So, there is really enough for you to watch and be very, very involved with Oral Pathology 360 till we come back with the next live in Jan. Right? So, thank you so much, Dr. Daniel. It was great meeting you and great spending time and listening to you.
It's my pleasure. I thank you again, and
Welcome.
I hope that the new year will be great for everyone. All the audience of Oral Pathology 360, Dr. Mandana, your family, and the whole everyone's family.
Thank you.
Season's
And the
greetings to
same to
everyone.
you.
Thank
Yes,
you.
season's greetings to you too. And everybody, and stay well, stay safe, and we shall meet in Jan. In the meanwhile, of course, we will be in touch on social media.
Of
Have a
course.
wonderful time, everybody. See you all.
See you.